got nothing. Look, I got nothing.
Oh, we're live, guys.
Live.
Hey, everybody, welcome. We are live from Standing Bear Hostel out in the middle of...
Wow, and we are
We're definitely getting a little audio there for you, but we've been out on trail in the Smokies for the past 5 days, and it's been
They did,
insane.
not me.
Well, we also
I've
have
been doing other stuff.
we have some guests here on today's
I
show.
came on a
though.
rescue mission.
Atypical hiker, thank you so much. He shows up with trail magic. We're talking like pizza,
Mellow
halos,
mushrooms.
energy drink, Coca-Cola's, the whole 9 yards. We have got the hiker hunger so bad right now. It is not even funny. But today's episode, we're going to talk about what to expect in the Smokies in 2025 and some of the challenges that you're going to face, because it is no walk in the park. But before we get to all that, let's introduce today's guest, starting with Atypical
Hi.
Hiker. Going down, we have Luscious versus the AT, and then followed by E.T.
The coolest dude on trail.
Woo! Hey, I tell you, man. We ran into E.T. just a few days ago in Georgia. He got his trail name, and from there we have run into him multiple times. And then, just the other day, we ran into E.T. at the Fontana Hilton. So before we talk,
He booked it to get there.
Oh,
Trust
my
me,
gosh.
'cause he
was doing some
he
miles, right?
booked it to get there. I promise you he did.
well, I tell you, at the Fontana Hilton, it is a glimpse of how beautiful the Smoky Mountains is just from the shelter itself. And it has so many great amenities like running water, solar chargers, bear cables, everything you could possibly
Heated
imagine.
bathrooms.
Heated bathrooms, showers, right?
Whoever that is.
But it's not a really good precursor of what's to come. So in today's episode, what we're going to do is talk about the 5 days that we were out in the Smokies and what you guys can expect when you hit the AT in 2025. But let's start with the Fontana Hilton. That shelter is pretty amazing. What do you guys think, right?
Yeah.
It is.
It
I've been
spoils
there,
ya.
but not with you. I've been there twice.
But you're going to
I told you where the best shower was.
Where is the best
You
shower?
might not want to tell these people.
Yeah, tell everybody if they're watching.
The best shower is down at the end of the visitor center by the parking lot, not the one near the shelter.
Well, that's the one we went to. It was heated in there too, by the way. Very, very.
The one near the shelter?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, they got the heater working
Oh,
again?
yeah.
It wasn't working when I came.
He was
through.
cranked up.
Oh, it was good.
Oh, no, there was no heat.
Like my eyeballs, they basically dried up.
There was
and
no
stuff.
heat.
But hiker announcement: we did run into a hiker while we were out there. In fact, we saw
That's
two,
right.
but one we were able to say hello.
Luscious's wife.
Watching from the Outer Banks.
There you go. Hey, Luscious's wife.
And mother-in-law. My mother-in-law.
And your mother-in-law.
That's awesome. That's awesome. So
Debbie.
we ran into a triple crowner for this year. His name is Slide. He was actually talking to us about his plans for the Smokies, and he said he was going to do it in 2 days. Now, guys,
What?
yeah.
What?
2 days.
75, 78 miles? How much? How long is
And
it?
he said he was going to do it
2
in 2
days.
days. Yep. And in fact, we heard that he was just here
With no pack? Is he just running?
No, he had a backpack. Yeah. And he just took off first thing in the morning, and we never saw him again. So that was
He's like
one
the ghost.
through hiker we saw. But, guys, day
Howdy
one,
from New York.
going from the Fontana Hilton, going into Fontana Dam, can you guys talk a little bit about what you guys, what was that experience like for you guys? E.T.?
Me first?
Yeah, you.
If I can even remember. It's all a blur.
The hiking down into Fontana
Yeah.
Dam.
Yeah, so it was
It was pretty cruisy day. I was coming from Stokoa, and that was just seeing the dam and the lake unfold. Like
Yeah.
every time you turn the corner, you're closer, and everything's like you're there.
closer and closer. For
Oh,
you?
I remember I talked to a couple gentlemen at the boat docks.
Yeah.
And they couldn't believe that I was going all the way. They were super stoked.
They're open?
Yeah, there was.
The marina was
The
open?
marina.
No way. They told me at the hostels it was still closed.
Well,
Limited
'Cause
hours.
you can resupply there. They've got
You
gas
can.
canisters and everything.
that is a good point. Earlier in the year, not everything is open yet, so we're kind of like the first people out there. So, as a word of warning for those that might be heading the trail a little bit sooner than later, a lot of the amenities are closed, but the marina was open for you guys to be able to have a little conversation and so forth. So again, the Hilton is great if you guys are looking to say, hey, I'm going to start my
Hilton.
hike into the Smokies, starting there. I tell you what, it's a great shelter. It's probably one of the best ones that you're going to find
is.
right
It's
outside.
like 2 or 3 picnic tables.
It's the Fontana
Yes.
Hilton.
Yeah, and it's actually double decker. So you've got 2 bottom levels and 2 top levels. So it's a very nice shelter to start off your hike. So we got up really early the next morning, around 7 o'clock. And in fact, we want to give a shout out to Creekside, right? Because they came out.
Oh, yeah. After having a nice long conversation about previous visitors to Creekside forgetting their phone on the you're using the bathroom and you put your phone on the windowsill. Somebody did that, and we were all laughing about it. And then I left my trekking poles and showed up at Fontana Hill and never even noticed until they called and said, "Hey, you missing something?" I was like, "I don't think so. Your trekking poles." They delivered them 7 a.m. the next morning.
Wow.
It was amazing. Thank you, Jeff. Thank you, Cynthia, for Jeff disrupting your morning routine. You guys are great. Creekside Paradise.
Creekside Paradise,
Indeed.
check them out. It's a great hostel, and they were very, very supportive. Again, dropping the trekking poles off that early in the morning. Thank you so much for that. So we take off into Fontana Dam, and just crossing that early in the morning was surreal. It was such a beautiful morning. The clouds were just touching the mountains. We were just seeing the sun come up, and it was an awesome walk across the bridge. I mean, I can't even put it into words. The footage is going to be amazing. Before we get forward, though, any questions or any
I'm
comments? that are coming up?
buffering. I can't tell you.
Okay. Well,
I might need an
Because your
Apple.
iPad's using
You
it.
think that's what it is?
No.
Can I turn it on?
all right. So the walk-in over Fontana Dam was excellent, but we get to the place where you have to drop in your permits, right? We're at Fontana Dam, entering into the Smoky Mountains. You have to have a permit. If you're a through hiker, you actually have to get in and out of the Smokies within 8 days. So your permit, it requires you to put your date on there. And again, you have 8 days to get in and out. You don't have to designate a shelter, but if you do stay at a shelter and those that have a permit come through, all through hikers have to get out of that shelter and have to camp outside. So again, being early, being some of the first people on trail, we hardly saw anyone out there on trail. We did see another hiker on day one as we were, was it day one or day two? Top Shelf, we saw Top Shelf on day two.
Top Shelf Day 2.
So day one, we pretty much did not see anybody. We just did a huge hike. Actually,
Until we showed up at our shelter, and there was a couple folks already there.
and in fact, if they're watching, we actually stayed at Spence Field Shelter. And we want to give a shout out to
Rodney.
and
Eddie.
Rodney and Eddie. Some of the only hikers we saw out there, and they were out there saying, "Hey, we've been backpacking the Smokies for 35 years." Rodney was totally in his element, totally at home. I feel like he ate through his entire hiker bag. He had hiker hunger really bad. Not like we're having today with our hiker hunger of miscellaneous junk food and stuff, but he was just going to town. Great guys. That was a great shelter. It has running water at the the shelter as well. So there's a pipe spring. There is a privy there. Spence Field Shelter was great. We did get some rain though that night, though, right?
We've got rain every night.
Every night.
Have you guys stayed at a shelter on the Smokies before, especially on the AT? And if you have, put a comment down below. But if it rains, it is not a silent thing whatsoever. I felt like you heard every single drop of rain. Even after it stopped raining, the trees just
They
kept
make
on
the
doing it.
roof out of snare drum material. Yeah.
And it was pretty difficult. That day, how many miles did we end up doing that day?
Heading into that first shelter,
Yeah.
It's not like 17.
it was
17.
over 18. It was over 19, I think. Yeah.
Wow.
So on that note, I want to bring up that ET here, when we met him, I said he's still carrying, he's carrying a 50-pound pack. And I wanted to show you guys what this pack looks like. Now, ET, he's a young buck. He's out there having a great time, but he's carrying this backpack. Go ahead, bring this in the frame. Now. This bad boy weighs 50 pounds, has sheepskin on it, the
Metal
works.
external frame.
And this came from your service, though, right? This is actually the pack it actually came from. So this is an old pack. ET is a veteran from the Marine Corps, and he just got out, and now he's hiking the AT. And I'm looking at this backpack. Now, we're doing 18 miles. It's filled to the brim. If he was able to lighten his load just a little bit, maybe get a lighter pack, he probably would be able to do those miles so much faster. But hey, he kept up, didn't complain about it at all. And I felt real bad when I saw this pack. I was like, man, dude, I'd give you the pack off of my back if I could. I've been using a Hyperlight Southwest 3400, which is like a 55-liter pack. It's a great backpack. I have no problems with it whatsoever. I have been looking at the Unbound 55, And that would be something that I would pick up if I was trying to get out of my pack. But I'm telling you what, if there's any backpacking companies out there that are watching this video, ET needs to get hooked up. I'm telling you, he needs to get a lighter pack, a lighter quilt, and a number of different items. Again, a veteran from the Marine Corps. So if you guys are watching this and you feel like there might be an opportunity for ET, make sure you reach out to me because I would love to be able to pass that along to him as well. Or just reach out to ET. But the thing about ET that's a little bit unique is he's doing no social media whatsoever. He's doing no phone.
No phone.
No social.
lights.
ET,
No
phone
more
home,
phone.
no
ET
phone. So he's
phone.
trying to figure
Not a
out.
single luxury.
So before I go forward, ET, let's talk about you. You just got out of the military. You're out here on the AT. You've decided to do no phone. Why did you decide to do this with no phone? Doesn't that make things absolutely difficult?
It definitely has so far, but with the thing everybody's been saying, the trail provides.
Yeah.
So far, everybody's just been nothing but helpful. And but the reason I decided to go without the phone was I just wanted to completely disconnect and just, walk the trail, just be in the woods, think, and just decompress, come to terms with, my service and what's coming next for me. So it was just the whole idea to just get out there.
Underdogs on there.
So he's been carrying books, like the AT guidebook, but also a logbook of
Got a
his
journal right
entry.
here.
And your motto is what?
Oh yeah, let me show you.
His motto is to just get out and walk.
That's my reminder.
Period.
So the first step is always the hardest, but once you get going, you're out there. Well, especially in the smoke, because you really don't have an option to really turn back, right?
Just
Because
walk.
again, it is a challenge coming directly out of Fontana, especially to Spence Field Shelter. That was a nice, good hike. So rain that night. We got up the next morning. But I will say before we move forward, right?
Okay.
You might notice that
Oh!
we're rocking the SQUAK here. You've been maybe watching the video saying, can't stop the SQUAK.
Can't stop the squad.
These are super warm. The SQUAK is a microgrid fleece. It's only $60. There's a link in the description if you guys are interested in learning more about it. Check it out. It is a synthetic blend and it works great on trail. I was sleeping in it every single night. Now, this is not necessarily something I would hike in its activewear, but my buddy here,
I hike in it.
no problem.
I don't
Right?
need anything but this and one shirt under it, even on 30-something degree days. But then again, I got a little bit of extra insulation over you guys.
All right.
But I'm working on that.
There you
I'm
go.
working on that.
But can't stop the SQUAK. If you're wondering what we're wearing here, it's very similar to like a melly in some ways. It's got the little belly in the front. And it's
Pocket's awesome. Got the thumb hooks.
and also a nice
Hood.
little cinch around here. It's pretty cool.
the one
Enjoying
hand.
it so far. So have we gotten any buffered anything before?
Yeah, we're not buffering now. So we got lots of people have said hi. We got Covington, Georgia in the house.
Any questions?
Ruck and Bacon says, keep it rolling, fellas. Mountain Wander Tada, she's on there saying, hey guys,
What's up,
y'all doing
Tada?
great. Miles Driver says he's been enjoying the videos. He envisages, and one day he's going to find himself on trail.
Excellent.
Oh, the Green Dragon's on.
Green Dragon!
Are you serious?
Hey,
Okay.
Hey, Donna.
Hey,
Hey,
Donna.
Donna. What's going on?
Sharpsburg, Georgia. Been watching you for about a year now.
Thank you so much. Appreciate it.
Let's see. Who's this? They're asking, did each shelter have ridge runners? I wouldn't know the answer to
that's
that.
a good question.
That's an underdog.
So
Luscious?
we saw one person who maybe was a ridge runner because he was actually running down the trail.
Pretty fast.
We don't know where he came from or where he went. But we saw him again at
Charlie's Bunyan.
I think he was. I don't know if he was a real ridge runner, but he was definitely ridge running.
He was running the ridge.
He was running the ridge.
No
I don't
doubt.
know. That's probably a bad answer to the question. But,
So we only saw one person that was out there besides the next through hiker that we're going to mention. For the most part, it was four hikers the whole time we were out there that we ran into, and that one ridge runner that was just running through. But no ridge runners outside of that. Did not see any
no,
at camp.
no rangers, no nothing.
Nothing like that.
Quite a few day hikers from Newfound, but that was about it.
Oh,
Remember coming down?
yes, we did see a couple. That was after we had. They were heading towards.
Yeah,
Heading
they went
down
back down to
to
Newfound.
Ah,
Yeah,
that's right. Cool.
from the north.
Kevin?
Okay, K. Michael P. says he just letting you know he knows where we are.
Oh,
Dun, dun,
dun, dun, dun.
Well,
Okay.
we don't know where we are most of the time.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you can get here, good luck. Because we're in the middle of nowhere.
We still have a couple slices of pizza left.
Yeah, speaking of, again, so Trail Magic, how many times have you seen Mellow Mushroom Pizza show up at Standing Bear Hostel, right? This has got to be the first.
Got to be a first.
Got to be the first.
Let's
That'd
say,
be the first.
what was your flavor? What kind of pizza did you get?
Well, I went with just pepperoni. What kind of pizza did you get?
I went with mushroom and feta cheese.
There you go.
Kevin?
I had a Hawaiian with mushroom added.
And E.T.?
I had ham, sausage, and imaginary green olive.
Ah.
They doesn't have olives.
Thanks
We
a lot,
We don't
Bill.
have those.
You don't have those, man. But thank you, Luscious, for organizing the pizza party because
Yes.
it was his
times.
idea. We got
He
Mellow
covered it.
But
and
He covered
he
it. I delivered it
from
from
Asheville.
From Asheville, and I kept it warm with a closed cell foam pad and a blanket thrown over
It was
everything
still
to keep
warm.
It was still somewhat warm when I got here, an hour and 45 minutes later. So let's see. Oh, George, something?
all right.
Oh, Michael Hanley says thank you for your service, ET.
Oh,
Oh, of course.
so let's talk about day 2. So we get up from Spence Field Shelter. Now this is where I would say the payout started to happen with the views. Now day 1, we were going up from Fontana Dam, did not see hardly any views. It was really wooded in. Now, I think we have been spoiled to some capacity with some of the views we've seen so far. There was a majestic sunrise coming up. We did see the lake and all that. Day 2, though, once we started going into Rocky Top, as well as, what is it, Thunderdome or Thunderhead?
Thunderhead.
Thunderhead.
We're going to
Thunderhead
keep
Mountain.
calling it Thunder.
Thunder Mountain Railroad.
Oh,
Rocky Top was probably one of the best views right off the bat in day 2 that we got to see. It was just an incredible clear day. And again, some of this footage will be released over the next couple of weeks. I cannot wait to share that with you. But Rocky Top was excellent. Thunderhead, maybe it was because it was down in the Laurel, right? The Mountain Laurel it was hard to kind of get up over it. There was probably a great view, but by the time we got there, it was kind of clouded in at that point. So Rocky Top was early in the morning, got a great view, got to Thunderhead, and then it kind of clouded in from there. Let's talk about a little bit more about day 2 and just
Before we get to day 3, because you're like,
I'm just trying to figure out
like
like what other highlights do you guys want to
I'm
call
still
out
thinking
of
about
day
that one
2
wide
while we were
view.
out there? What was that?
Said I'm still thinking about that wide view. What was it, day 3 or 4? Just that random spot, that random opening.
Oh, yeah,
we
that
were
was-
all just like, oh my god.
On day 2 that we anything else? I'm trying to think.
We ended up at Double Spring Gap
Double Spring Gap.
Shelter.
Let me consult one.
I'm still kind of trying to, let's look at the actual logbook here. I'm trying to draw a blank here. Like, what
Yeah.
happened else during that day that was pretty cool?
What day was
Didn't we
it?
go up over
It's Fontana.
Klingman's Dome one day too?
That was day 3.
That was
right?
day 3.
Day
Yeah,
3.
yeah, because we had just gotten to.
Day 3. Day 3,
Day 2.
we had stories that there was a visitor center that would
Ah.
have bathrooms. It would have maybe snacks at a
At Klingman's Dome,
like
yeah.
a gift shop or something.
So you were looking forward to that, huh?
We were all looking forward to it. It required a half-mile down, half-mile up road walk. And
Nothing. No bathrooms, no electricity, no snacks, no people, because it is
winter.
closed for the season.
There was a restroom. I didn't go in it,
no.
but I hear it was missing its
Suboptimal.
missing its toilet.
Suboptimal.
Suboptimal.
There was no toilet.
No.
Well, there was
Hole in
the
the
big
ground.
hole in the ground, and there was no door either. So, out of all the bathrooms, there was one door that was open with no door, so it was very breezy in there, and there was no toilets, just a big hole. Everything was closed down.
Suboptimal.
So we had
Suboptimal.
so we had to make some decisions, and it was paper rock scissors. I won that battle, so I got to go first, followed by ET, and then we were back on track. But Klingman's Dome, though, the view is still there. If you're hiking through, you still get the ability to go up to the Pano 360 view
Right.
overlook, and that was incredible. You
Very
guys want to
cool.
talk about?
So you weren't socked in for that, huh?
No.
No, it was
No,
awesome.
You can see.
No.
Oh, man.
I was socked in on Siler Bald and what was the other one? Wyatt.
Wyatt.
Both of
Yeah.
them. Both of them. That's coming. You'll see that later.
Well, before we talk about any more about Smokies, where you been? You've been hiking up from. You just stayed at the.
Yeah, I'm
Grove?
behind y'all a little bit, but I'm gonna get there.
In fact, we had an idea today saying, "Hey Kevin, why don't you go through the smoke? Cause I'll just drive your car back to the Fontana."
Yeah, I thought about that. Yeah, see.
Because it's crazy getting up here, right?
Man, let me
Standing
tell you
Bear?
something. Let me tell you something.
Yeah, let's hear it.
So I told you when I got here, you know, they talk about banjos playing when you come out in the middle of nowhere. And what did I tell you? This is beyond banjos. This is tapping the spoons and beating pots and pans out.
My
here,
mom
man.
played the spoons.
Oh, okay.
Boom, boom, boom. Oh, man,
Yeah.
I'm telling you.
So how?
And since 40 is closed,
Didgeridoo.
all of the state highways have a huge amount of car traffic on them, and so you're like a train going through all these winding roads to get here. And I don't think I've ever been somewhere so rural in my entire life.
So that's great advice. Again, so we're kind of spoiled here. Kevin brought all this stuff from Asheville, lots of like hiker trash foods to eat and so forth. But you got to take into consideration that these amenities are not going to be very accessible to you. So prepare on hiking a little bit further after you come to Standing Bear before you're going to be really hitting anything, because it looks like it's very difficult to get in and out of here.
Yeah, and they're trying to rebuild Hot Spring there. They got a big sign, donate to help rebuild the town as you're driving in. And you can just see where the flood really went through, and they're really trying to get things cleaned up and patched up. And a lot of this stuff's going to take years. So
Good.
The advice is to have a friend just deliver
yeah,
pizza
you
from
pretty
Asheville.
much need to phone a friend, you know, and yeah, it worked out. But I can see the difficulty of getting through the Smokies just from this. So say you parked at Fontana, if you're doing it with a vehicle, most of you aren't, but getting back to your car and paying a shuttle to do this, yeah, you got a minimum of about 3 hours to get back down there. So it's not going to be easy for you.
But at Standing Bear, it is lots of great amenities here. They have bunkhouses, private house. They have a kitchenette. You can do your laundry. It is by hand. Hot shower, which is really important. And the rates are good. So if you guys are looking for reasonable rates and a nice place to stay, again, we have Wi-Fi, and we're able to stream to all of you guys at home. Thank you guys for joining us. We're glad to see all of you here. And if you've been enjoying the videos, again, make sure you hit that like button. It definitely helps with the algorithm to get this channel out and in front of other viewers as well. So we appreciate everyone that's been tuning in so far. Again, thank you to Standing Bear for letting us come and crash and have our hiker trash party here today. All right. So we're at the top of Klingman's Dome. We're freezing. We tried to go down the bathrooms. That was a debacle. We used them anyway. Now we have to hike back up. Now we're on Klingman's Dome. And this is where it gets interesting, guys. So the trail is crazy, right? There's not a lot of snow. The only snow we saw was up there at the top in a couple different areas. And there was some drifts that were pretty dramatic. That might have been 1.5 feet, but nothing crazy. And I'm talking just little patches of snow and ice. However, most of it was melting. So lots of runoff coming from the top. And on top of which, lots of mud, lots of slush and so forth. And we've been out there hiking in the snow and the ice, and it hasn't been a problem. But now that it's starting to melt, it's kind of sketchy out there. What do you guys think about, what was your experience when you guys were out there on the trail, on the backside of Klingman's Dome? What would you describe that terrain like?
It's pretty much a creek bed. It wasn't even really a trail.
We were hiking a stream.
Yeah.
Upstream, downstream. Yeah.
So it's inevitable that your feet are going to get wet, right?
Mm-hmm.
Or you can be like Luscious and have,
Sealskins, wetsuit for my feet.
I'm telling
I've
you.
got neoprene
Hi,
socks.
family in Massachusetts.
Do I need them? The neoprene socks, I've got them.
Yeah, they're
So
awesome.
I'm going to need it. I was worried about my feet sweating out too much.
I mean, these guys survived without it, but I'm the one who wasn't complaining about going through the middle of
I'm
the
going to have an advantage
water
over
up the
you.
trail.
Your feet are going to get wet. So if you can't get the sealskins, also Injinjis are great.
and Shinji's under the sealskins.
Under the seal, he's got double the pleasure, double the fun. I just started getting the Injinjis. I don't have the sealskins yet, but I've been using that underneath the wool socks. So even if your feet are getting wet, going through lots of the snow, the puddles, the mud, all that, it's going to happen. You're going to destroy your shoes. In fact, I just got another pair of Lone Peak 9s, and you wouldn't be able to tell that they're brand new because they were brown to start, and now they're even more brown. They're almost thrashed completely. I'm gonna go down that path. I'm not gonna talk about women.
Hey, Becca. Sorry to interrupt.
No.
Yeah, he's got family.
just-
He's got
yeah,
family
actually,
on.
go ahead.
We got Chris
Give
Coney.
some
We've got
shout-outs.
Senior Hiker 77. We got Joey Outdoors online.
Wow, we got everybody. It's a
And,
party, man.
George Cooper, thanks you for your service there, ET.
Hey, David.
Underdog wanted to know what is the rate. I guess I don't know if he's talking about here. He
What's
said,
the rate here?
on SB now?
Standing Bear.
Southbound? Standing Bear.
So what you should do is you should always call to confirm. We're out of season rates right now is what I'm going to say. What we paid is out of season rates. I'm not sure what in season rates might be, but for the bunkhouse it was $25. Private rooms are $50 per person unless you for a single. And then if you get another person, that's $40 per person in the single bunk or a single private room or something of that nature. But the bunkhouse is $25, private rooms are $50, and if you add a person to the private room, it then becomes $40 per person. So that's kind of a general rate, but I would encourage you to call ahead. This place does get packed.
It's going to be full.
There is nothing around here. So
all the hostels will be full.
After you get out of the Smokies, guys, this is it. This is it. There's nothing else out here.
This place is first come, first served during the regular season. So by the time everybody gets here, it is just going to be like show up early.
Yeah, you better get here early.
You can sleep on the
In the meantime, you call ahead to make reservations.
Yeah, and they've got, again, great resources, bathrooms, everything that you need at a hostel. Again, the Wi-Fi is great. We would not be streaming in maybe HD. I don't know how's my face look. Maybe a little blur, but that's okay. But again, thank you to Maria at Standing Bear for letting us come in tonight. Definitely appreciate it. The amenities are clean. Everything is great, so definitely appreciate that. Again, shout out to ET, though. ET has been the champ because we've been on trail this entire time, and he did not complain at all about that huge 50-pound pack that he has. We're trying to get him into a new backpack, right? So if you guys know any backpacking companies or anyone out there that might be interested in throwing him a new backpack to help lighten his load, to help get him to Katahdin, that would be great. Make sure you reach out to me on Instagram or send a comment down below if you are a backpacking company that would be interested in sponsoring ET to get out of this backpack. You want to show it one more time before this?
Here's the other side.
Oh, there it is. This is what he's carrying. That's just half of it.
It's canvas, isn't it?
Yeah, waxed canvas on the bottom.
He's carrying books and all kinds of stuff. We want to help him lighten his load. Is there anything else that you guys want to recommend that he might want to do in terms of his quilt and things of that nature? Put a comment down below in terms of opportunities for him to... Oh, is that rain?
Speaking of this rain,
it's rain.
We need to cover day 4.
Yeah.
And our extended push.
Oh, yeah. Good idea.
Talk about it.
Okay. Well, we were headed to Tri-Corner Knob, which was going to be a 13-ish mile day. And we realized that we would rather have a 10-mile day today than an 18-mile day.
Yep.
So we pushed another 8 miles to Crosby Knob, which is another great shelter with a privy, with the spring, all the amenities, which is like two of the possible amenities, plus bear cables, all the. So rain was coming, but hadn't come yet. So we were hiking in some gorgeous weather yesterday.
Oh my gosh!
So the extra 8 miles just, it was an extra 3.5 hours. We made it there before the rain started. The rain didn't start until around midnight, right? Oh, but it came. And in gut hooks, it told us that this shelter has roof leaking issues. And we found out that it was accurate.
It was true, huh?
It was very true. So starting around midnight.
Yep. The timestamp right there.
Yep.
Midnight 45.
We won't quote Metro, but he woke an alarm, shall we say, and brought us all to the realization that we were experiencing some moisture.
So again, they're on the bottom rack, right? And I'm on the top rack, and he had read out Luscious and said, "Hey, there is a description saying there's a leak in the center." Well, we didn't know exactly where in the center that might be. We looked at the top rack, and we could see some wetness in some areas. There was an umbrella over to the left.
That should have been a dead giveaway. We were going to have issues. The shelter came with an umbrella.
So,
hey, Maggie.
I didn't think about that.
So I decided to put my sleeping pad sideways, like long ways. So I'm like on top of the rack, but going this way. Middle of the night, the rain starts. It starts pouring on top of my bag. Like I have a quilt, right? It's a down quilt, so it's just starting to soak into my feet. I did yell a couple expletives, and I also got up so quickly that I hit my head on the rung. So it was like, oh God! Hit my head like, oh God! Like it's all wet, and water just started drowning inside the entire shelter. So even though if you're staying in a shelter, does not necessarily mean you're going to stay dry. But I was warm. Do you know why I was warm?
Because of our selection of music.
Because I was rocking the
That's
squad,
right.
baby.
That's why I was
Can't
wrong.
stop.
Yeah, I mean, meanwall, you're, cursing.
out.
Is that okay? Freaking out.
Freaking out.
Freaking out.
What the heck was going on? Okay, come on.
And ET's just like, wouldn't it be cool if we could listen to Sunday Morning by No Doubt right now? And so, pull it up, boom, we were rocking out, and it was Sunday morning.
We made light of it, so it wasn't that bad. That's a good point, though. One thing that was surprising about the Smokies is that, for the most part, you have at least one bar of reception, either LTE
Really?
or 5G.
Sometimes at most 1 bar, and
Okay.
often
So you can get a text.
many
out.
times 0 bars.
Oh, very much so. But
You
I
wouldn't
felt-
know.
I wouldn't know.
Basically, I mean, I'm shocked at how often we do get a bar signal.
Okay, I would have.
Sometimes that 1 bar signal doesn't carry any data. It's just blocks you from being able to use the satellite. Because when you have 0 bars, it goes into satellite mode and says, hey, do you want to send this text over satellite? But if you have 1 bar that doesn't work, you're screwed.
It's screwed. So
Yeah.
make sure you keep your phone on airplane mode for most of the time, but when you take it out of airplane mode, you will see you have reception. If you don't put it in airplane mode, your battery will die.
Goodbye.
Now, I took a 10,000 milliamp Nightcore, I don't know if that's whatever the name of it is, it's 10,000 milliamp power bank, and it died on me because I just got a new iPhone 16 Pro Max. So it died 1.5 charges into it. So I really had to think about conserving power. Again, at Fontana Hilton, you think that you might have amenities such as a recharging station, anything of that nature along the lines, at Klingman's Dome or anywhere. There's no access to any of that. I would say that it was very surprising, but able to carry through. My Garmin InReach Mini barely made it through the Smokies in 5 days. I did have it on 10-minute drops, but it barely made it through
It
that.
died
as well.
just an hour before we got here, right?
Just an hour before we
Less
got
than-
here. So thank God we made it to Standing Bear there, but otherwise, I might
I
have
had
just...
mine still working.
I don't think Granny Gatewood had one of those.
No, Mama
She did
Gatewood did not.
I have a
There you
whistle,
go.
so.
Oh, you have a whistle.
I have
Hey!
a whistle.
He was tooting that whistle too.
Yeah.
So another thing is, guys, we also hit mile 220.
They did, not me.
What that means is
We did.
10% of the Appalachian Trail is done.
Ooh,
How
yeah.
incredible is that? Luscious and ET, they are well on their way to making it to Maine. Now, we got a few more steps to take, but that's okay.
Yeah,
We're
that's okay.
going to take our time because the last one to Katahdin wins. In fact, I'd like to go for the record to be the person that takes the longest to get to the
No,
Katahdin.
that will be me.
Is that you?
That'll be me.
Maybe we'll do it together.
Do
Yeah.
it together.
Because we're
Yeah.
starting at the
There you
same
go.
time.
Yeah. So, but I told you, I'm probably going to come back when I'm done.
And let's keep going and get a
And
little
no. And I'm going to do the approach trail and come back to
Oh.
the triumphal arc.
Oh, I see.
With my trekking
Whoop,
poles,
whoop, whoop. Here
the
comes Kevin.
Georgia boy returning back to
Back
Georgia.
home.
That would be iconic.
See, nobody finishes it like that. I'm changing it up, baby.
Well, there's a
Right.
record. There is a record. There's 2 people right now that hold the record for the longest time on the AT, 365 days. Now, Nimrod over at the Green Dragon Hostel brought up an interesting point. They said, if it was a leap year, you would be able
Is
to.
2025 a leap year?
Oh, that's a good time.
No, it's every
It's for the Olympics, maybe.
Not a
every
leap year.
4 years.
No.
So it's
So we
2024
can't
would
get
have
the
been.
record, but maybe we can get 365 together. And you know what? That'd be an awesome way to end New Year's Eve.
Yeah, I don't want to cut it that close.
Why not?
I
What else?
might twist my ankle or something.
Just walk. Remember? Walk.
I mean, that's every day for me.
Yeah.
So mile 220 is Eagles Rock, which would be the 10% mark, but we also hit mile marker 200 at Klingsman's Dome. That was excellent as well. But going in on that 4th day, again, some of the most incredible views. We went over a helipad area. We also got to see like a plane crash, but
From 1984.
it's just
And
like
the parts are still, I mean, we saw 2 big parts.
just hanging out on the side. There's probably more plane wreckage. If you guys know more about that plane wreck, put a comment down below. Love to hear your thoughts on what the storyline continues from. No more buffering? on
I'm
this stuff?
buffering. Just look, the total spin.
Starlink is only good enough for 1 live stream.
All right, so
Not
we pushed for 20 miles on day 4. Day 5 coming out of Cosby Knob Shelter. I will say it was mainly downhill, except for when we got to, was it Mount Collins? Is that what it was?
Camera?
Camerer. Mount Camerer. That is a climb, right? I would say that we just didn't know when it was going to end. It felt like the road just kept on going. And that's another thing for you guys. The Smokies is not just a walk in the park per se. There are some really great areas, but you will be on some climbs that just feel like they go forever. And Mount Kemmerer was one of those last ones right before we got out of the park that really put it to us. And unfortunately, it was clouded in today, so no views whatsoever going to be in that footage. But it was a very cloudy, mysterious, it was a fun atmosphere to kind of end it with. But again, the trail itself was more like a creek. It was more like you're just going through a river of water, just exiting the park itself.
At the highest points, though, we were above the clouds. So
Yes.
We cast shadows. We saw the sun.
Yeah.
Then we went down into the cloud.
Sorry, I'm taking extra sips of my energy drink here. Thanks to Atypical Hiker again.
I'm drinking water.
Whee!
All right.
I'm on like my 18th cookie.
That's
probably.
good for you.
Oats
Plenty
and
of
all
energy
kinds
for
of-
the trail tomorrow.
Oh, yeah.
Can't wait to dive into this right here. As
Oh,
well.
don't show my wife.
Oh,
Don't show. Oh, no. She's going to be so mad.
Yeah, but that's
They're not for me. They're not for me.
not
They
for
weren't
him.
for me.
Matter of fact,
and
he
just in
has
case.
Oh, no.
Look at
That's
the
your
toilet.
favorite.
Yeah. Yeah, we're just picking it out here. But so we're making a run for it. But again, big shout out to Atypical Hiker because he's like, hey, man, I just checked how far away Standing Bear is. I don't know if I want to come up there or not, man. I was like, wait a minute. What do you mean? Because again, there was no way to get out of here. Like I basically he's like,
It's a long way.
so again,
Shuttles tend to be either $2 a mile or $2,
Yeah,
$2 a minute.
it would have cost you a little bit.
Yeah, that would have been expensive.
so again, name of the game is preparation. Make sure you have plenty of electrical power banks to get you through. But also, once you get out of the park itself, make sure you have set up any type of shuttles beforehand because there's not a lot out here to help you with that. So make sure you make some of those accommodations ahead of time because that'll be super helpful for you as you get out of the park. Now,
I wish I could read you some comments, but look,
it's all right.
we're live, but look, there's
What
nothing.
if you exit and go back in? Is that?
Well, let's see. It'll buffer again, probably.
It's not an iPhone. Sorry,
I
it's
was
not
about
an
to say,
iPhone.
Get your iPhone out and you do it. Maybe it'll work. I'll turn this one off. Look at that.
Well, guys,
I'll stand
we
outside
talked a
and
little bit
come
about our experience at the Smokies. I'm sure that when you see the videos, we were very fortunate.
There they are. There they are. There they are.
Okay, here we go.
go.
Kevin.
iPhone guy fixed the Android.
All right. Is that what it was? Okay.
He just had to
okay.
touch it.
He's optimizing
I
my.
just came
His
close.
magic-
He's
Magical
optimizing my iPad for
got
me.
electrical
I need a
fingertips.
resident genius for that. Okay. Senior Hiker says somebody needs to cut their hair. I guess he's talking about you.
Oh,
Definitely not me.
Probably me.
I guess he's talking about you.
I mean,
Uh,
I got hair,
Impulsive
I got hair, don't
Wanderer
care.
said 50 pounds. Lord Almighty.
what?
Yeah, that's it. They're talking about how heavy your
Yeah.
pack is, so it's kind of ridiculous. Okay. Missed you all at the first Florida Trail Fest. That was Backpacks and Trails. George Cooper says, stay safe. Maggie Agurkis.
That's my sister.
Okay. Hi, Benj. Okay. Well, let's see. Very proud of you. Oh, somebody said I'm doing great. Thank you, Backpacks and Trails. Just started following your channel yesterday. You guys are great. That's Woods for Life.
Woods for Life, how are you?
Greg Morton Outdoors says, greetings from the Florida Trail. That is a trail I will
Superstar.
never do, so good on you.
Greg Morton.
Send some footage, because all the footage I've ever seen was Dixie's. It didn't look like something I would ever care to do. The Florida Trail, no thank you.
What's up, Greg? Good luck to you on
And
that
so
Florida
Michael
Trail.
Hanley says, congratulations, you guys, on completing a 10th of the
Thank
AT. So Impulsive Wanderer also says, what matters is that you get there, not win.
There you
Go on
go.
the full lap.
Go.
10 years and 3 months as long as you arrive.
So I want to address that note right there. There's a lot of people out there talking like, oh, those guys that started early, they've already gotten off. Look at us now. We're actually a little further than you thought we would be. But more importantly, what we're doing is we're experiencing the trail the right way. So,
Yeah, so
there are
you-
purists that are going straight up from Springer all the way to Katahdin, as we have over here. Hiker number
19.
and
18.
18 and
We
19.
started on the same day.
Yeah.
We didn't realize it.
Mhm.
He started a couple hours after me, and you camped out on Springer, and so I went right by Springer, and we ran into each other about 5 or 6 times after that,
Yeah.
including.
Hiker number 1, hiker number
Smokies.
4, but we're taking our time enjoying the ride because we understand that if we have the whole year to do it, why be in a rush, right? Because we've
That's
got
the way
plenty
I
of events
look at
coming
it.
up. In fact, speaking of events, if you guys are going to AT Gateways, They changed the name from AT Kickoff to AT Gateways
okay.
recently. We'll be there February 28th, March 1st, and 2nd. So if you guys are going to come to that event, you'll probably meet.
We have to get our tags.
We got to get our tags. We have to go back to Amicalola to pick up our tags. But the event is where we'll meet lots of people, shake lots of hands.
Yeah, and all our videos are delayed. So, no, you're not getting the most up-to-date of where we're at. How about that?
Correct.
So you think, oh, those guys are going. No, they're not.
No, we're not off
We're
trail.
not
We're just
gone.
having fun, man. And another thing is, because of the weather, we've been supporting all the local hostels
I've
going
been
into
supporting
town.
all the local businesses.
So let's give a shout out
everywhere I
to
go.
the Green Dragon Hostel.
Green Dragon Hostel.
Let's give a shout out to the Grove.
The Grove Hostel.
Rambling Roots.
Rambling Roots Hostel.
Creekside.
Creekside.
And now
That's in
Standing Bear.
Paradise. And let's not forget Mountain Crossings. You guys were pretty rad too. Thanks.
Oh
Thanks for
yeah,
the
for
pizza.
sure. So what we mean by that is, if you think about supporting the trail, it's not just about getting out there and saying, "Hey, I'm on the trail, I'm supporting it." The local towns, the local communities. When you go into the hostels, you support the hostel. When you get the shuttle, you're supporting the shuttle. When you go into resupply, those are all things that help the
Local
local
outfitters,
economies.
yep.
The local outfitters.
Local restaurants.
So go into town and make sure you share the love. You know, that's what it's all about. So yeah, if we're taking our time, we're actually contributing.
We are.
In our
and
own
I have
different way.
been.
Yeah.
Everywhere I've gone, I've been supporting these local Outdoor 76. I got one of their crazy shirts.
How you do? Great.
Mellow mushroom.
Mellow mushroom.
They needed our help.
The bear saying, look, the menus on the on the back of the
Love that shirt.
I died laughing, so I had to buy that, and so I spent money there. And if you miss Just Donuts while you're in Franklin, you made a big mistake.
Ooh.
I made a big mistake.
I must have made a big mistake.
I'm
But
telling
I
you.
State, I went to Cafe 828. Is
Okay.
it? And they're
Yeah.
awesome.
So yeah, that guy, he has a passion for making donuts.
Passion.
I mean, serious. Like, so, say there's people that have passion for music.
Yeah.
Or passion. This guy has a passion for making donuts.
Franklin.
But yeah, in Franklin, it's called Just Donuts, and it's only a half-mile walk from the Grove Hostel to get there.
Oh, ho, ho.
So it's only a half-mile walk, but they will drop you off there in town if you need to be dropped off.
I think you've got a problem if you're hiking the AT and yet getting dropped off at the donut shop because it's too far.
Yeah, well, I'm just saying, but it's easy
Okay,
for you
they're
to
offering.
walk to. But here's the thing we went for.
Well, yeah. Whatever.
I was hiking with Jess and Weatherman and Pacer. And so they go, well, we got to go to that donut shop. We got to go to that donut shop. I'm like, what the? And they started talking about this bagel sandwich. And I'm like, man, get out of here. A freaking bagel sandwich. Y'all are making that big of a deal out of it.
What?
Let me tell you,
What'd you make?
that is the best bagel sandwich I've ever had in my life.
Best ever.
Like ever.
It's right. It's
Ever.
It's ironic that you're talking about because I think you're actually channeling ET because ET this morning was talking about how you wanted an over medium egg
Oh yeah.
Oh,
sandwich with
yeah, it's fresh
avocado.
eggs.
Yeah.
I had the bacon, egg, and cheese. And you can get an Asiago cheese bagel. You can get an everything bagel. You can get what's some weird poppy seed. But they got all kinds of different bagels.
I feel
You
like
can
I
pick it.
need to just plug in here a shout out to Creekside Paradise B&B for their breakfast spread. Now, I was the only hiker there, and I'm the only hiker I think they've had so far this season. And they put out the full brunch
Just
spread
for you.
just for me,
That's awesome.
each
Wow.
morning, and it was amazing. So if you love breakfast and all the other amenities they have, it's basically like a bed and breakfast, but if you're a hiker, you get hiker rate, which is very reasonable. And they've got a hot tub in their deck, and Jeff gave me a presentation of like the night sky over Creekside.
Cool.
Um,
So they just rolled out the
Cynthia
red
and
carpet.
Jeff roll it out. They've got a whole bunch of dogs, which seems to be common to a lot of these
Yeah, it is.
hostels.
It is.
And it's just very welcoming and full service. They were great, Creekside. I mean, I haven't stayed at a bad hostel,
Yeah.
and
Everybody
we just feel
at the
very
hostels,
lucky.
They've been very friendly and very accommodating.
So
Everyone
nice.
I've been to.
Shout out to Jacob. Shout out to Sharp Iron Hikers.
Yes.
Shout out to Mr. Bluefish. Any plans for side quests, New York City, Washington, or Boston? Do you guys have any plans for those side quests?
For sure, New York City. I've got family I'll either go in and visit them, or they'll come out to the trail and visit me. That's a must happen, I think.
Oh, all right, all right. Trey Tresmo says he'll be speaking at
Tresmo!
AT Gateways. Better trail photography. Looking to see that as well. Again, good luck to you, Greg Morton, out there on the Florida Trail. I know that's got to be
That's tough.
a tough trail to be
That's
doing.
serious.
Yeah, that's some real deal right there. I'm not there yet, not yet, but I am wearing the right color for that.
Luscious orange.
Luscious orange.
Ooh.
So, who wears it better? Is the orange being worn better by Luscious or Metro? I don't
This
know.
is loner clothes.
Loner-
That's how serious I am.
Luscious.
About
This
his-
is my it's my wife's favorite color, and that is why I love it.
Aw.
On this trail, as I miss her.
Well, an identifier for Luscious, if there's for those looking for him on the AT in future states and so forth, he has a bright orange fisherman's hat or like a river hat.
It's reversible.
It's a
though, isn't
shelter.
it?
Yeah.
Shelter.
See, it's reversible.
Like
Shelter.
this.
It might be a different color.
It's like this, but orange.
Yep. Got the orange glasses. I'm rocking orange accents on everything.
Good times.
But
good.
you looking too.
Hey, look, rocking the squawk. Can't stop. Can't stop the squawk.
You just can't stop it.
Can't stop. Can't stop the squawk.
You just can't stop it.
No, can't stop the squawk. If you want to find out more about the squawk, make sure you hit the description down below. Find out more about this incredible fleece microgrid. Great company, great product. All right, guys. Well, I think we've covered pretty much the Smokies, our experience out there. Good luck to all the AT Thru hikers making their way north or south or flip-flopping or whatever you're doing. Hike your own hike. It doesn't matter what people say. Have a good time out there and share those experiences with others. We all met from the trail. In fact,
Right.
all of us have met on the trail one way or the other. And
Keep running into each other.
keep
Yeah.
running into each other,
Yeah.
so it's meant to be. But more importantly, we appreciate all of our viewers out there. Thank you so much for joining us on today's live stream, supporting this channel. And if you enjoy this live stream, make sure you hit the like button and put a comment down below. I'd love to hear your thoughts and feedback on the channel, the videos, and so forth. A new video dropped today. It was Trey Mountain going into Unicoi. Make sure you check out that video. But until next time, guys, we really appreciate it. Thank you so much. We'll see you on the next one. Let's keep moving.